Welcome to Sideline Sports, where we give you an up-close and personal look at the teams, coaches, and athletes that make up the South Sound. Here's your host, Jeff Slakey.
Welcome to another episode of Sideline Sports. This week, High Climbers battle Central Kitsap. Shelton hosts Gig Harbor. Bulldogs facing a top-ranked Viking team. And the game of the week, it's Shelton girls basketball hosting North Mason.
This portion of Sideline Sports is brought to you in part by
Mason General Hospital, United Community, Empowered People, Exceptional Health. The High Climbers were looking to bounce back after a tough loss at the top-ranked Gig Harbor.
The Shelton boys basketball team were back in action Wednesday night hosting Gig Harbor. A back-and-forth start to the game had Shelton leading 15-13 after the first quarter. Shelton would go on a big run to close out the second quarter, taking a 31-19 advantage into halftime. Shelton's Malik Freeman led all scorers at the half with 9 points. Gig Harbor would start the second half on a 7-0 run, but Shelton would keep their composure, racing past the Tide for the 65-50 victory. Malik Freeman led all scorers for Shelton with 16 points. Jason Kenyon finished with 11 points for the High Climbers. Shelton will go for back-to-back conference wins at Central Kitsap this Friday. I'm Sean Wells for i5everyone Sports.
Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
The Gillis Auto Center. At Gillis, you're covered forever. Shelton looking for their first conference win of the season, taking on the Tide.
The Shelton girls basketball team faced a tough test tonight when they take on defending conference champion Gig Harbor. The Tide are currently 4-1 on the season, coming off a tough non-conference loss at Kent Ridge 59-20. Shelton sit at 3-1 on the season, coming off back-to-back conference victories over Capital and North Thurston. Gig Harbor won both contests over Shelton last season on their way to a 14-0 conference record. Both Gig Harbor and Shelton sit at 2-0 in conference play, just one game behind undefeated Peninsula in the standings. The game tips off tonight at 7 from Gig Harbor High School. I'm Sean Wells for i5everyone Sports.
Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
North Mason basketball looking to pull the upset against the Vikings.
A big crowd was on hand at North Mason High School as the Bulldogs hosted top-ranked North Kitsap. North Mason jumped out to a hot start, leading 19-15 after the first quarter. Bulldog Trey Fisher hit a three as time expired, putting North Mason down by 3, 34-31 at the break. Zach Olmstead led all scorers for North Kitsap with 11 points in the first half. The Vikings exploded offensively in the second half, outscoring North Mason by 11 points in the third quarter. North Kitsap would start the fourth quarter on a 15-0 run on their way to an 83-55 victory. The Bulldogs are back in action hosting cross-county rival Shelton on Wednesday. I'm Sean Wells for i5everyone Sports.
Other scores in boys basketball: North Mason 52, Bremerton 42. Central Kitsap over Shelton 63-61. And Mark Morris beats Tumwater 87-68. In girls basketball, Gig Harbor 55, Shelton 47. North Mason over Bremerton 54-36. And Timberline beats North Thurston 62-44. In wrestling, North Thurston 66, Capital 6. Olympic over North Mason 56-15, and it was Port Townsend 40, Clahoya 49. Our game of the week is Shelton girls basketball hosting North Mason in non-conference action. The High Climbers head into the contest coming off a big win over Central Kitsap 69-42. The Bulldogs sit at 4-3 on the season with a big win last week over Bremerton 54-36. The High Climbers got the better of the Bulldogs when the two teams met last season, winning 57-34. Game tips off Tuesday at 6 from the Shelton Mini-Dome. Upcoming games in boys basketball: Shelton at North Mason, Timberline versus O'Day, and Capital versus River Ridge. In girls basketball, Shelton versus North Mason, North Thurston versus WF West, and Timberline versus Bethel. In wrestling, Shelton takes on Capital, North Thurston versus Timberline, and Gig Harbor versus North Thurston. This has been another presentation of Sideline Sports. I'm Jeff Slakey.